High-value sigma males are people that exhibit both alpha and beta characteristics. They are not content with only following the direction that others give, but at the same time, they do not want to always be in charge. Even though they are frequently misread by the general public, there are a number of reasons why sigmas are frequently mistaken. This is despite the fact that they are frequently misconstrued. To begin, they do not find you to be very impressive. High value, they have high expectations for others and will only give their approval after giving it considerable thought. Sigma guys are not easily impressed by other people, regardless matter who those other people are. They may come out as unapproachable or even judgmental as a result of this, but the truth is that they just do not put much stock in what other people have to say, in contrast to others who are easily swayed by wealth, power, or the appearance of having plastic breasts. High value, the male members of Sigma couldn't care less about these kinds of things. They enjoy being in the company of someone who is straightforward and genuine. Trying to win over a Sigma is like trying to get water out of a rock. It just isn't going to happen. It is quite unlikely to happen. They care little about the things of this world or the trivial concerns that surround them. Because of this, they could sometimes give the impression that they are uninterested in other people. On the other hand, they see no value in making an effort to sway someone's opinion. Even more so, they do not. On occasion, Sigma men will find someone or something impressive. However, this is often the result of the Sigma men having achieved something that they take pride in. For instance, a Sigma can find motivation in another somebody who has triumphed over adversity or accomplished something remarkable. They are more likely to be appreciative of someone who is able to inspire them as opposed to someone who is trying to impress them. High value, the Sigma guys are highly skilled at reading people, and they are able to see through any attempts to charm or manipulate them. Others, on the other hand, may be easily fooled by beautiful words or empty promises despite the fact that they have a powerful nonsense detector and can recognize a liar from a mile away. Infectious diseases are not fooled easily. They would rather deal with the uncomfortable truth than be told two different lies. They are restocking their supplies. Sigma guys have a need for a loan in order to refuel, and it is not uncommon to find them in seclusion. It is possible that because of their need for a loan, they come across as cold or even unpleasant, but this is simply not how they operate. Sigma males are not the least bit interested in having frequent contact with other people, in contrast to those people who are extroverts who need constant company. They feel suffocated when surrounded by an excessive number of people because solitude is where they recharge their batteries. Because of this, Sigma males are regularly seen in their natural environments or in the places they call their own. They need time to themselves in order to get their thoughts organized and refocus. They are not the kind of people who would enjoy going to a pub or club that is extremely crowded. This urge for isolation, which some people may consider as a negative trait, is, in fact, a trait that can be quite useful. They are most content when they are in a serene setting where they can relax and think things through. This is the perfect time for people to take stock of their lives and decide what they want to accomplish in the future. They are able to be at their most creative and productive when others are not around to distract them. Those who are typically responsible for the creation of things are the ones who are impacted by partying disease. Recharging may seem like an unusual concept to some people, but for Sigma males, it is quite vital. If they do not have time to themselves, they will quickly get overburdened and apprehensive about their situation. They are not only inert during the period in which a Sigma is recharging. Participation in this process is absolutely necessary for the preservation of their health. They loathe having to explain themselves to those who are unable to comprehend what they are saying. Sigma males do not enjoy having to justify their decisions or actions to other people. They are self-assured and confident in their abilities as well as in themselves. As a result, there is no requirement for them to seek the approval of others. This may give the impression that they are haughty or even self-centered at times, but in reality, they simply do not operate on the same wavelength as the vast majority of others. Sigma males are completely at peace in the air, in contrast to other species, which may require repeated reinforcement. They are confident in their own instincts and do not look to the approval of others to validate the choices they make. Others might have the wrong idea about how self-sufficient Sigma males are, but they are well aware that they have nothing to prove for the same reason that they are self-sufficient. They regularly overlook the perspectives of others, particularly when those perspectives are detrimental. It is not uncommon for some people to be unaware of high-value Sigma males, and this ignorance is frequent. They make an effort to provide an explanation, but it seems as though they are speaking to A. Despite the fact that Sigma men do not require the approval of others and are neither arrogant nor disrespectful, Sigma males do not engage in this activity since it is a waste of time and energy. This is true despite the fact that Sigma men do not require the approval of others. They may be very kind and understanding, but only when it is natural for them to be so. If someone is constantly trying to tear them down or is negative, they may simply walk away from the situation. They may also be very patient. They don't put much stock in you as a person. Sigmas are known for their intense caution and reluctance to trust others. They learned their lesson the hard way in the past, and they are not going to let it happen again. Because of their exhaustion, Sigma males may come across as untrustworthy, but the truth is that they never take anything at face value. They are not going to acknowledge your claims as being true. They are required to have first-hand experience with it. Their tendency towards skepticism often gives the impression that they are suspicious of or skeptical about everything. Despite this, this is merely a protective mechanism. They do not want to be taken advantage of or harmed in any way ever again. As a direct result of this, they are not going to just ease up on their vigilance. They won't give you any consideration if they detect even the slightest stench of bullshit in what you're saying. In order for a Sigma to genuinely trust another person, they must first become familiar with that person. They need to be confident that they can monitor the person in a range of contexts, and they need to be able to do so without difficulty. Once a Sigma decides to trust someone, they are in it for the long haul and won't walk away from a relationship at the first hint of trouble. Trusting someone is difficult for a Sigma because of how cautious they are. As soon as Sigma has earned your trust, they will be trustworthy and loyal to you, and they will expect the same in return. They will always have your back. Even if they don't show it on the outside, you can count on them to support you whenever you require it, no matter what. They are deeply involved in introspection and reflection. High-value Sigma males are known to be quite reflective individuals who frequently find themselves immersed in their own thoughts. Although this may give the impression that they are unapproachable, it is simply the way that they conduct business. It's possible that some people will think it peculiar that they are constantly contemplating and trying to figure out different topics. It is how they approach problems and how they come up with new ideas. They are always thinking about what might be and how things could be made better. They are continuously looking for connections, thus their mind is always going a million miles an hour. If you try to talk to a Sigma while they are deep in meditation, there is a chance that they will not hear you and will continue on with their practice. They are so preoccupied with their own thoughts that they are oblivious to the rest of the world. It's possible that this will aggravate some people, but it's not personal. This is how they conduct business. The strongest endorsement possible. When having a discussion with a S, if they seem distant, you should give them a minute to gather their thoughts by giving them some space. This is not anything that they do on purpose. Rather, it is just the way that their thinking operates. They find it enjoyable to dissect everything and make an effort to make sense of whatever they come into contact with. People that are a part of Sigma are not the type of people who can just turn off their intelligence. They cannot help but think all the time, even when they do not want to. They are uninterested in your number 6 for any reason. Sigma males dislike anything that creates needless stress or drama in their lives since they view it as a waste of their time. They prefer it when things are simple, and they despise having to deal with people who disagree with them. This does not suggest that Sigma males are afraid of conflict. Rather, they prefer to address challenges in a rational and peaceful manner. They do not see the need in getting worked up about something that can be easily fixed, and they do not see why others do. Because of his preference for peace and quiet, Sigma often gives the impression of being uninterested or even uncaring to others around him. Nevertheless, when there is an emergency, they do not want to squander their time on pointless conversations. Sigma males would rather keep their distance and watch the goings-on from afar. They prefer to observe and have a better understanding of the circumstance before becoming involved. Because of this, they are able to create more educated opinions, which lends an aspect of objectivity to their assessments. They are not required to be a component of everything in order to be understood. Because of this, individuals tend to pay little attention to the noise and drama that is occurring around them. Their time and effort would not be well spent, whereas alpha males seek out and take pleasure in being the center of attention. Sigma males are more comfortable operating in the background. They would rather not draw attention to themselves and instead allow others take center stage. This is not to imply that guys who have a high-value Sigma certification are cowardly. They merely do not think it is necessary for themselves to be the center of attention. Everything they are quite fine with leading unremarkable lives and remaining unnoticed by the general public. It's possible that this will make them seem invisible at times, but that is exactly what they want to happen. A group consisting of only 7 people is boring. Sigma males usually find themselves in situations where they are surrounded by people who are uninteresting to them, whether they are attending a professional gathering or a party. This can be frustrating for them. As a direct consequence of this, people commonly experience extreme levels of boredom. This is the situation due to the fact that Sigma males are exceedingly selective in the social bonds they maintain. They have little interest in being in the presence of anyone other than those with whom they can have engaging conversation. If their minds are not kept active, they will quickly develop feelings of boredom. As a direct result of this, high value generally speaking, Sigma guys choose encounters in smaller groups or even one-on-one settings. They want to have a conversation that goes deeper, without having to waste time with idle small talk. It is common for Sigmas to have the perception that they do not belong with the other members of the group. This is because they are always looking for more, which is one of the reasons why this is the case. They want to find out where they stand in the world and identify the people who are more knowledgeable than them. The problem is that the vast majority of people are satisfied with being average. They are content to merely go through the motions of life without seeking anything more or aspiring to anything more meaningful. High value the guys from Sigma wouldn't ever understand why doing the same thing again and over is dull. You are being way too judgmental. Number 8. Despite the fact that you have your own shortcomings, sometimes we are ready to point out the flaws in the actions of others, but we are completely blind to our own. People who are quick to point out your flaws but are unable to acknowledge their own Sigma folks can be found all over the world, and most of us are familiar with at least one of them. The world is full of people like this, and most of us know at least one of them. The behavior of people like these is abhorrent, and they will be ignored as soon as possible. These people have no interest in engaging in productive conversation and are only interested in engaging in confrontational debate. They have no willingness to engage in constructive communication. It is necessary for us to investigate our own behavior before passing judgment on the behaviors of others. It is very easy to be critical of the person in front of you, but it takes a significant amount of bravery to take an honest look in the mirror and admit that you have made mistakes. As soon as you are able to do this, you will understand that not a single person is perfect and that we all have flaws in our makeup. We are all just simple beings making an effort to do the best we can. You tend to embellish things quite a bit. 9. Sigma males are unable to fathom why certain people feel the need to embellish or lie about their experiences. They never stop looking for answers to their questions about the world. They are not content with white lies or half-truths. Rather, they have a strong desire to learn the whole truth. Because of this, it is typically challenging for them to engage in conversation with other people. They just don't understand why people don't use logic and reason when they behave the way that they do. They have absolutely no idea how to make sense of it. It is as if the other person is speaking a foreign language because none of what they say can be understood. And that frustrates them more than it already did. High value. It is common for members of the Sigma fraternity to have the misconception that they are the only people who actually exist in the world. For Sig, blowing things out of proportion is a waste of time and energy because everyone else exists in their own isolated world and does not make use of their minds. They would probably want to get to the point as soon as possible and be finished. They don't see the point in beating about the bush or making things more complicated than they really need to be. 10. As a sign of courtesy and respect, there will be times when high-value Sigma guys will choose to ignore you in order to avoid being unfriendly. Even though they might not be interested in what you have to say, they probably won't interrupt you or cut you off because they don't want to give the impression that they are impolite. They value courtesy displayed by others. Because of this, they would rather avoid upsetting you by ignoring you. If you intend to dispute with a male Sigma, you are going to find it quite challenging to do so. They are masters of self-control, and they rarely find themselves losing their temper. They would rather avoid a heated argument with you by ignoring you and simply walking away from the situation. If you insist on having a disagreement, then no one will talk to you.
Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And do share with your friends so we may continue to create them. To see more videos like this, subscribe and don't forget to turn on the notification bell. Additionally, make sure to check out our other videos. Thank you for watching.